airplane was good. I had fun on the airplane. Next time I want to take you, okay? Okay. Okay. Okay, well, bye. See you. Bye, Papa. This section?
Yeah.
Yeah, racing bikes for 4 years is a long time. It's crazy because, 40, it sounds old. I feel like anybody that's like 30-ish or older, I always like, if they go like, oh yeah, I'm 32, I'm like, really? You're only 32? I thought I was younger than you. How are we basing famous?
Who's the most famous person in your contact list?
My parents took me to my first BMX race when I was 4.5, and yeah, that was kind of the beginning of it. I remember is a lot from like seeing pictures and like old 8mm, like reel-to-reel kind of videotape that my dad had and stuff like that. SE Racing was my first like real factory team I was on. I was the youngest kid on the team. Toby Henderson was on the team back then. Bubba Hayes, Lonnie Tatton, Rod Beckering. It was pretty cool, being 12 years old on a team with all these guys. Like, that's when I started like flying to all the races, they were paying for flights, and my mom was writing a letter to, Toby Henderson is, like has authority to, be my guardian when I'm on the road and stuff like that. And so those are really good, vivid memories of me racing in all these like indoor arenas, cow palaces, and just like little ho-dunk kind of places that they would build BMX tracks. A lot of, old friends, like guys like Jeremy McGrath, who, we were racing each other when we were 11, 12 years old, on BMX, who obviously most people know went on to become the best supercross racer ever. So it was cool, like there's a lot of good memories from back in those days, for sure. I mean, it wasn't something I never thought I was going to be a pro bike racer, a pro BMX racer, or a pro mountain bike racer. These are the things that just kind of happened, and I kind of just went with it, and they turned into things. When I turned pro in BMX, it was just a full spur of the moment. I was 17 and a half. I was at a race with my dad, and at that time I didn't have like a real big factory ride, and I was kind of like over it. I was kind of unmotivated, and I told my dad, like, maybe I should just turn pro at this race and try to make some money. And he was like, do it. So I did it. I ended up, I should have won my first A-Pro race, but this dude took me out in the last turn of the third main, and so I ended up getting second, but still went home with like $800 in my pocket, which at 17, racing for trophies your whole life, was like, this is sweet, and it kind of, like, it was like a little fire under my butt, and that transformed into a couple factory rides. I rode for Elf Racing Team back in the day, which was a pretty cool bike company. And then moved over and started riding for Mongoose. And yeah, I was getting a small salary and bonuses, and that's what kind of led into the mountain bike thing. There was lots of guys that were racing mountain bikes that came from BMX. Mongoose had a mountain bike team, so I gave it a try. Probably after the second, maybe the third year of mountain bikes, during the third year of mountain bikes is kind of when I really started phasing out BMX, and maybe did a couple races that third year, but definitely by the fourth year of mountain bikes, I wasn't doing any BMX anymore, because I started making more and more money racing mountain bikes, and it was fun too. It was different, just like learning gears and suspension and different types of terrain and bigger wheels, and everything was different. So it was just fun and exciting, and I actually did better in downhill than I did in slalom. I think the first year, I think I got third overall in the Norba series. I think I had a chance to win even the first year or second year, and typical back then. I got a flat at one race, but by the third year, by '95, I won the downhill title and the slalom title in the same year. Those were my first titles. I mean, all the world championship wins are those are always exciting, you know, just one race, all that pressure just on one race. So those ones always stick out. I mean, the first one I won was in Vail, and it was 9/11 year. So I like had to drive to Colorado because I was supposed to fly out that morning and the flight got canceled. You know, so that one was pretty memorable. Cool, like I could remember them all. I won in Capru in Austria. I won the 4-cross there. We had a pretty stacked final with myself and Prokop and Cedric and Carter. And at that time, I really had like a lot of confidence, and I almost lost that race because I was like overly confident. Had the fastest qualifier, had gate choice, took the inside, and was like so relaxed and so nonchalant about it that I didn't get a very good start and nearly got shut down. But I ended up pulling that off and winning that one. Livigno Worlds in Italy was probably one of the coolest 4-cross tracks that I could remember. It was long, it was like nearly a minute long, and you know, under the lights at night. Again, you know, stacked final with Graves and Del Deek and Minar in that one, and yeah, got that one, and then the last one in Scotland. That crowd is always amazing. You know, probably some of the best crowds ever at World Cups, even as of today. That one, like, you know, I was older. I was about to turn 37, like a week after that race. So I think like some people like started writing me off because of my age then, and I don't know. Yeah, I was very serious, and I just try to, you know, zone everybody else out, you know. And I think, well, in some degrees, I think I ride more now than I did even when I was racing full time, because, you know, because when you're racing like a specific type of event like that, you're training for that specific event, you know, doing things that aren't necessarily a whole lot of fun, you know, like practicing gate starts, or, you know, doing, you know, sprints or squats at the gym or whatever. You know, that kind of stuff is not really a whole lot of fun, really. So I feel like I ride more now than I probably did then. I was at this race, at this World Cup, and there was, like, I don't remember, multiple other athletes with #1 on their helmet and on their back, and, you know, from each of their countries, you know, they're national champions or whatever. And I was just like, this is kind of lame, you know, everybody's got a #1 and wants to run a #1. So at that time, being just a fan of Supercross and that sport, they were converting over to the system where they got to pick a number, and that was basically the number that, you know, was their number that they ran. So I was like, I'm gonna do the same, you know. So I just, at that time, I picked number 55 just because I remembered that picture, and I figured, man, I started kind of my whole racing with this number. Why not just end it with that number?